How are you guys?
Good.
Feeling good. Came to the library with my sis. We're getting things done. Feeling
Nice.
good.
How was Patrick Bet David?
So
I'm peanut butter and jello.
that's like 5,000 different conversations.
hmm
But the transfer of information, and he was so intentional. Let me show you guys how intentional this man is. And this was a perspective for me on how, like, what we're going to be doing. You know what I mean? Like, the seminars, the events.
hmm
Look at this giant behind book.
Wow.
Every person, whether you were a CEO, whether you were a billionaire, or whether you were the smallest business person, got this book.
Wow.
And when they're like, oh, you're gonna have a booklet, it's usually like the little thin thing that says notes. There there was fill in the blanks. There there are charts. Like, it was so intentional. And anyone leaving that event that does not hit the next level or higher was just because they didn't want to. Simple. I'm like equipped for the next 10 years. It's crazy.
Was it one of his statements was about chess, not checkers, or like the moving 15 pieces before or having 15 moves beforehand?
The chest was through the entire booklet and
Mhm.
the event. Like, I don't know if you guys can see this, but
Mhm.
everything has like chest in it, and it'll have a like a quote.
Oh, leaders are born during crisis, in time of crisis.
And every topic was relative to chess, even if he didn't say chess. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was definitely implemented. And like even like each page had a book reference on like how you can get to what he's talking about or to the level of how he got his entire team and organization to. So the intentionality was incredible. Like, he set the standard so high. It's not even it's not even funny. I'm so grateful for people like Matt just investing in us because he didn't have to. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and even for the people that didn't necessarily qualify for the incentives, which was that entire event covered your stay and everything, like, people still paid their way.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I know I still did. I was like, yep, I'm going. And it's so funny because everybody's like, you're a gangster. Like, what are you doing here?
Like
And
you're
I,
a genie.
and I'm like, I'm here to get the value. Like, just because I'm becoming a mom again doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
I'm not letting anything stop me. No. But it was
So,
phenomenal.
dude, I can't even imagine like your energy levels doing that, like as a mom. Like,
Yeah, 14, 15-hour days for 4 days.
yeah, like welcome to the Holy Spirit sustaining you.
Yeah, that's intense. That is intense for sure.
Yeah, but I'm grateful for every moment of it. Even in the event, he did take a moment for everything that happened because it was happening while we were at the event.
Yeah.
Uh, and he even took the time to acknowledge it and as a leader ask permission, to take a moment to be silent and pray um, for, the situation and Charlie's family. And then it's just like, and he said it perfectly. He's like, I can't make this stuff up. There's no way that I can just, make it a coincidence of, because the beginning of the event, it began with a clip on a very old radio going through static and through different radio stations. And the topic of it was, how focused can you stay in the noise? And that the noise is not going to get better. It's actually going to get worse than the next 5 to 10 years. But how focused can you be? And what can you get out of it? And that was literally the theme of the event. And then for that to happen, he's looking at us like, we can't make this stuff up, and he was saying how to not let the weight of the world and opinions and everything else that happens take away from what you invested to be here to do. He ended the event early that day, obviously to allow people the time and the space, but also to for him and his team and everything. Because, even though he's not in politics, he is a very influential
Yeah.
figure. And, he's just well spoken. It's not about like sides with Patrick. It's about right and wrong and what the fact is. And if you are saying that you are this type of person, these this is what the outcome needs to be. If you say that you're a leader, this is what the outcome needs to be. So it was really good. Like, even though, that obviously was, it was a heavy moment for a lot of people. Some people reacted, some people didn't. But even in the midst of that, to still continue to have the leadership, the poise, one of the biggest things that I took away was to be set apart from average and the elite, the ability to reason, the ability to have other opinions, to have other people that don't agree with you, and to still execute and just in the eloquence of a leader as a leader and still have everyone feel respected. Like, he does that so well. And the way that he handled it on stage, it was like, that's next level. It takes a different type of mentality for all of that. But the event was phenomenal. I'll probably definitely cook up some trainings with Grace so we can drop some gems on Separation Saturday.
I'm so excited.
Me too.
You're so excited. You can't. You have to hide it right now because you're in the library.
Exactly.
I wanted to do. There's something that I wanted to do, but we'll do it next week when you're not in the library. It was gonna involve some like yelling and some screaming, but we should probably
Like right place, right time.
right place. Say, I just gotta read the room. Then Femi's in the library, so
Good catch. Boy,
Yeah. Mhm.
yeah. I'm equally as like just beside myself for like what happened this week, but also just like it really did spark an interesting reaction and a chain reaction of leaders, and I think people are gonna get so much more savvy with how they research, where they get their information from, who they get their insights from. I mean, I've had friends that have like found some and I know which friends are researchers. And so I'm like, hey, what'd you hear about this? What'd you hear about this? And they find different insights. And I think building a network of people that you can use their strengths um, to your advantage as well, but obviously adding value to them and adding insight to what it is that they're might be their blind side is so important. So it's and like and to process how you process, like everybody processes different. Everybody has a different opinion and different response to everything. And so allowing people the space to have their response and reactions and um is also part of leadership too. Like you have to ask people how it is they're processing, how they're responding, what they need from you in that moment, what you need from them. I think that's a huge part of leadership. I had a conversation yesterday, which was very awesome for me to even experience, was somebody who I'm like, she had full on career, has 97 people in her network, sorry, in her management position at a really like incredible corporate healthcare company. And she's asking me advice on like how to talk to people, like how to communicate what it is. She's like, how do I motivate them? How do I spark communication and connection with them? And I was like, you kind of got to get to know them. It's like we don't have to do all of this like guesswork. Like ask people their motives, they'll tell you. You just have to be ready to listen. Um, and as a leader, it's like our job is to listen to people and then help them cut out the most amount of friction as possible. So it is interesting the conversations that we start to have with people once we figure out our giftings, once we figure out like what it is that we're skilled at. Um, and it doesn't matter about age, it doesn't matter about demographic, gender, it doesn't matter about any of that. It's like once you figure out your skill and your giftings, people will start asking you for advice and you're just like, am I even like qualified to do this? And God qualifies he doesn't, what is it, the phrase? He doesn't qualify the
We're called
Doesn't qualify the call, he
called the qualified.
calls the qualified.
Yeah. And so just lean into it when you start to experience those things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Honestly, and I love that. And I think too, like you said, all types of reactions and um perspectives are coming out of the situation. And I think one of the biggest things is that as a leader, like especially if you're a leader, especially if you're called, especially if you just have a specific perspective, um, you're called to exercise it. And it doesn't matter how uncomfortable or whatever it looks like for other people or how it makes other people feel. That's what you're supposed to do. Because in light, that's pretty much the situation. Someone that stood on their truth, no matter what, and spoke boldly, no matter what. So I think that's something for all of us. Like everyone can take that away. But honestly, it will either activate people to do so, walk towards that, walk in it, or it will have people unfortunately just live in fear and
Part.
Well,
and not use their leadership, not use the voice that that they were given, the uniqueness that they were given.
And
yeah.
I think this was a very powerful thing just in my life was understanding that there's only two types of fears. And for a second, for a second this week, I was fearful. And I think that's part of human nature. Like we're going to fear that, feel that emotion, uh, anyways. It's what we do in response to that. And I sat there with it and I was like, no, I'm reminded the fact that there is only two types of fears in this world, two types of innate fears in this world, the fear of loud noises and the fear of falling. And I hold true to the fact that the rest of the fear in the world is literally learned behavior and conditioned behavior. And so if the fear of speaking your opinion should not be even in question.
No. And for as many like they can try and silence the truth all they want to, but there's gonna be how many millions more people now are going to start waking up because it's just becomes more and more for me like apparent as to what the truth is and to what's actually going on in this world. And I had a video that like I posted about that where it's like our like people my age and then like younger, like your generation, like they start to realize that this is just a bunch of bullshit. Like So you want me to believe all of this stuff, but I can't have a house, I can't own a car, I can't save for retirement. I have to work until I die at this like brainless job that I hate. And I don't even get to have any of the things that my mom and my dad got to have. Like this doesn't add up. Like this doesn't make any sense. And there's gonna be more and more people that are just gonna start to realize that, and they're just gonna like be like us and just go find their own path,
I think
start to seek it.
I think what's it it blows my mind that your generation was the generation because I watched my family's generation do so much good and do all of the things by the books and do all of the right things, and then they just got like absolutely crushed by the system. And I'm like, there's comes a point where you're like, okay, if they did all of the things that you're being told to do and there's nothing to show for it, it's like, okay, there's something wrong with it. And the fact that like you got squeezed to the point of where it drives me up a wall that I'm like, your generation has a different feeling. Like you got completely crushed. And
I watched my mom and my dad, like they worked their asses off and they still have their acreage, but like, they live like they have to live like paupers on like nothing.
yeah,
They work their whole entire like fucking lives for nothing. Just to live. They can't like they're not living, like they're just existing. They're just waiting to die.
yeah,
Like I had to face that. And I'm like, if I keep like, and it's like, if I don't do something different, then I am going to be in the same situation. I'll be in a worse situation, and I'll just be like, I'll be my dad's age still working,
yeah.
like, and for what? Like, I realized I was like, I've put 20 over like 20 years, and I'm like, what do I have nothing, like, there's nothing here. Like this is insane. Like this is absolutely the definition of insanity. And then there to think that there's still people that believe, like, like Kurt says on his calls, oh, they believe that like we're gonna like do all of our transactions with paper money. We're just gonna keep like, you think that like, oh, people are just gonna keep like working these like meaningless jobs, and you just think that's going to keep on going? Like, no, things change and evolve. Like my great grandparents 100 years ago, like you owned your own farm, you worked the land. That's what you did.
Yeah.
Look what changed 100 years ago.
They
And
outsourced everything and took away all of the
yeah,
nutrients, the value, the economics. They outsourced everything.
and they're going to do it again. They're doing it like it's by design. And I'm going to speak that they're doing it by design. Like I'm not against immigrants at all, but they're bringing is the third world to North America. They're doing it in Europe. They're bringing the third world so that they can exploit the third world here, and they don't care if it turns Canada, the United States, any country in Europe into the third world. They do not care because they can just go move and live somewhere else. They can go live in the most beautiful places in the world, and they do not care. They don't. And I'm saying nothing against immigrants. Like I feel because they're being exploited, and there's a whole bunch of people in the middle class that are being exploited.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. They
And it's
can't
our
exploit the third world anymore. So, okay, well, now they're turning their attention onto us, and they're
now
going
it's
to
our
exploit us.
responsibility. Now it's our responsibility to take over the mental game because I think
Yeah.
the mental game is where they can't win. And if we can win here,
Yeah.
you can't be played anywhere else.
That was Jesus's message. that was why Jesus came, was to, he said, no, it's like the mental game. Like it does not matter. Like because the Jews, they thought like, oh, he was going to come and he was going to what? He was going to overthrow the Roman, he's going to overthrow the Roman authority, and he was going to bring back Israel as this like independent nation without any interference, right? Like he was going to overthrow the Roman government. And he said, no, like come on to me. You can live like in your mind, and you can live in, it doesn't matter like who is ruling you. It doesn't matter. You can live free. You can live free like in your mental space.
Mhm. Which is like the perfect segue back into the book. Um,
100%.
and it's like if we get to first principles, cause substance, I am. It's literally the self-definition of God.
Yeah, I am.
I am is the self-definition of the absolute, the foundation on which everything rests. I am is the first cause substance. I am is the self-definition of God.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's a powerful statement. I am.
I don't think people actually like understand that because they wouldn't use it so lightly or even take it for granted, right? And it even tells you like that first page, and it was saying like I am can't be divided. Like you can't take that away from what you create and who you are.
Yeah.
The moment you the moment you attach it, the moment it's said, like it's created,
Yeah,
literally.
you can't differentiate. Like I love how he says, like, I can forget who I am, I can forget what I am, and I can forget where I am, but I still I am.
Hmm.
That's still the like there's no that I still I am.
Yeah, it's permanent awareness. Like I am, it's permanent awareness. And it says that, and I love there's a portion that says, I am is the reality to which whatever happens, we must turn for an explanation of the phenomenon of life. And it doesn't matter, like, and that's the thing where I'm saying like people don't take it as seriously because it doesn't matter in what form or what way you're using I am. Whatever aspect you're using it in is what will be created.
This is Joel 3:10. For by his assumption, the cause substance I am is rearranged and must therefore manifest that which its rearrangement affirms.
Mm,
This principle governs every aspect of your life, whether it be social, financial, intellectual, or spiritual. I was like, this is all biblical principles.
yeah,
Yeah.
real life, real
I
life.
just like he says like I am, and like I am is that is who God is I am. We say I am, like God's spirit lives in us. That means that I am, I am. Demi, you are, I am. Grace, you are, I am. Like God is in all of us. That's why
Hmm.
I am it's why it's such a powerful statement, and more that people, yeah, they take it too way too lightly, and they don't realize like, like I have my I am statements, and I had to like, that's the start of like in here in the inner dialogue, like, no, I am this. Because where
Mm.
I was before was because, I used to think I am, like, well, I am only oil field worker. right?
Mm.
I am a degenerate out here, right? And when you assume that's the identity I was assuming is that, right? No,
Mm-hmm.
it's not. I am like these other things, right? No, I changed it to something positive. Like I am like a seven-figure earner. I am a successful trader with a seven-figure account. I am a successful content creator earning seven figures. I am loved. I am forgiven. I am bold. I am confident.
Mm.
I love that. And I love that you mentioned the fact that like uh, the repetition of writing this stuff down until it's like an automatic response in your head. Like the purpose of writing is to commit it to memory. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like we use writing as a tool to commit things to memory. And it's like until it's an automatic like an automatic reframe and you don't even have to question it anymore. Um, that's when you can stop writing it down because you're automatically there at an unconscious competence level of that understanding.
Mm-hmm.
This is I read this today in when I was doing my when I was doing my scripture reading and and then I typed it into Chat GPT and like because I was doing my study like on the power of awareness with Chat GPT. So it comes from Matthew 11 verse 28 to 30 and 28 to 30 says, "Come to me all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." And then ChatGPT took this and it asked me if it wanted me to tie it back into what I was like into like what Neville Goddard like thought of this verse.
Mhm.
And when he says, "Come on to me," he is saying is come on to the creative inside of you, the
Mm-hmm.
creative part of you. That's like the finding the God spirit inside of us and coming on to that creative. That it's not a these aren't verses that say that, oh, we're going to be lazy and we're just going to like that's not the intention, the meaning of it. We come on to the creative and everything becomes easier. We start with the end in mind. And it's
Mm-hmm.
Neville Goddard would have said that you assume is the feeling that you already have what it is that you want, starting with the end in mind. And then when you stay in that feeling, everything becomes easier because you're allowing it is your creative, you're allowing is the God spirit to do the work for you, to do some of it for you, right?
Mm.
It was absolutely, I was like, wow, that is in it was just insane crazy how ChatGPT did that. And it actually maybe I had to like pause for a minute because it said it does not like you don't have to prove like stop striving to like Neville would have said stop striving to prove to others or to God that you are worthy. You are already worthy.
Yeah.
This whole process is coming back to the remembrance of who you actually truly are.
Mm-hmm.
Every single human ever created on this planet was created by a creator.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if we have God in us, first of all, we have the choice to obviously like reject or accept God,
Free will.
and that's by design. And then it's like, then you have to remember who it is that He created you to be,
Mm-hmm.
which is a creator. It was the co-creation of all of the things that we get to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It also said in there that like many people to like stop because we get so consumed with like what's going on in the outside world, like outside circumstances. And it said in there you cannot like it's recognizing that we cannot change like outer circumstances, like by, like that striving and whatever it is that we do, we cannot change those circumstances. We can only change that by like looking within inward
Mhm.
and like creating is that new reality in our mind and holding firm and fast to that feeling of already having it. And having is the faith that like, yeah, we are that that we are co-creators, that God lives within us, and that we will have what it is that we desire.
Hmm. That's good.
That's so good.
Hmm. Yeah, it's in general like how we're always talking about the concept of ourselves. It comes from I am. And under like the moment you realize that in your consciousness, I am is infinite and I am is the one and only reality, that's when you can really start either lean in and create, or like you said, we have free will. We can accept and we can reject the fact that I am is infinite. God is in us. We do have access to that. We are worthy of it. The moment you do decide to receive it, that's when you can start creating everything it is that you want, whatever it is that you see in your mind. Tony Robbins was, he was one of the speakers at the events, and he was talking about the reason why things that, people don't get what they want, or, it's always like a chaotic process. People are always looking for the blueprint, like the thing, it's simple. He's like, it actually begins with your state, not your strategy.
Mm.
It's the state that you're in. Because once you're in a state, right? This is what we're talking about. Being in the state of I am in your consciousness. Once you truly receive it, like you said, it becomes automatic. You really receive it. Then from your state, it's the story you're creating. And then from there, the strategy comes. But most people are not aware of their state. They're in the state of I am lack. You know, I am all of these negative things, doubts, limits, beliefs, and I am born this way. Like this is how I am. Like this is the state that majority of people are in, constantly thinking about the problems, constantly thinking about the things that they do not want. That is the state of I am. And you can either choose to use your power to create, to really walk in your divinity and everything that's already for you, or you can be in, as you said in the beginning, the fear that was taught, that was given to you by circumstances, experiences, paradigm, etc., etc. But it's your state. I am for real. So,
It's cool. And one thing we can do with our state is we can consciously choose which state we're in.
mm,
If we pause and like between every stimulus and response, there's a gap, and we can choose in that gap to change our state, which is something that as a human is the only like that's a higher faculty that we have, which is reason, which animals do not have. They just react. They just know instinct. We have the only higher faculty of reason to be able to change our state and then change the response.
mm-hmm,
That's the be still and know that I am God.
Yep.
mm-hmm,
It's
And
like,
that's something I've had to work on is like, no, just be still. Like there's not like just be still, think like just be still and just let your mind just think. Like there's not always something that like has to be done because again, it's not like I can't like no matter how hard I strive to make something happen, that's forcing it and trying to manipulate it into like existence. And it's like, no, just sit back, just be still. It's like I can do that like right now, like today. And I'm like, oh, I don't have because like I was creative all of this week. And it's just knowing right now, okay, you went and you did the work. You did what like you were like in my mind, like what that like, hey, I want and I thought like what it is that I want. And I was, I followed those leads, I followed that intuition. I've created the things that I needed to create. Now I just have to sit back and I have to let like be still, know that I am God, and just let God do his thing.
That's so good. It's and how does that make you feel knowing you took the actual inspired action when you needed to do it, and then you can sit here in the space and
Mm,
feel good.
Yeah. Because you know what I can do? Like you know what I can do tonight? I'm probably going to try and go have dinner with my parents.
Yep.
Tomorrow, I'm going to go and do something that I haven't done in a long time. And that's going and enjoy some life.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go explore and I'm gonna go find like a good fishing hole and just do something that I enjoy doing that, I haven't done in like a really long time. And that's actually be able to enjoy it. I have gone fishing, but not actually enjoy it because in my mind, I was like, oh, you got all these things that you got to do. And it's like, I don't have,
mm.
like, I did all the things that I needed to do that I was inspired to do. Now I just have to sit back, just be still and know that I am God.
Dude, that's so good. Like
Hmm.
the actual ability to enjoy the simple things, or not even simple, it can be simple or it can be grand, but the actual ability to enjoy the thing. I think the reason that a lot of people are so anxious is because they know they should have done something and they didn't.
Mm,
Like
mm,
anxiety
100%.
comes from mismanaged energy.
mm.
Like, why do we have this like angst inside of us, this literal like feeling? And it's because you didn't express it, you didn't use it. And so, therefore, it causes all of the anxiety.
That's so good.
And so, when it's like when you're trying to enjoy something that you know should be fun and enjoyable, you're like, "Ah, but I love this stuff." And you can't. It's that innate, you're like, dang, what did I not do that I was called to do?
Mm, mm. It's
Yeah.
that integrity with yourself. It's
Mhm.
the integrity with when you said you were going to do something and you didn't
That
do it. And then
that judge.
yeah, and it reminds me too, like of chapter 2 of consciousness, and it says, literally, your mind is always arranged in the image of all you believe in the concept to as true. So if you're constantly believing that, yeah, it's true, like the fact that you're even saying it and it's something that is, going through your mind believes that it's true, and that amplifies the anxiety, the unused energy, as you said, because at the end of the day, you're literally attracting and creating exactly what you don't want. And exactly what you don't want. And what I do love at the end of this chapter 2, it starts talking about magnetism.
Starts talking about what?
Magnetism.
Yeah.
And I think that just the concept of yourself in general, then it does start amplifying those things. Like you said, you're doing something that you want to enjoy, but you have X, Y, and Z, all these other things happening because that is what you are now attracting. That's now what is happening. That's the focus. That's the focus of everything. you know. So that's good for you, Eugene, because it's so powerful to even be able to utilize that concept and then do it because you're now going to put yourself in the state that you want to be in.
Yeah. It's part of just learning to like you have to create, even if it's just small, something small, like, for part of a day, you got to create and live in the life that you want. Like yeah, just be like, oh no, I can't do this, like, because I need to. Well, there's no, like I can, like I said, I did all of the things that I was inspired to do, and now I can take some rest and I can go and enjoy, like I can go in and enjoy something, right, for a little bit.
And you know what happens? More creative ideas because you're enjoying the thing and you're in a good state and you feel good.
Yeah.
Now, I challenge you to have like some way to capture the ideas. And I do this in a few different ways. I either text myself if I don't have any paper or pen or anything near me. If I've got a whiteboard, I'll write down an idea or a concept or something that comes to me. I don't have to execute on it. I just need to write it down and capture it. And so whatever it is for you, whether it's carrying around a notepad or a pen, have texting yourself is an option. Like I have so many text messages of like, what is that? Like earlier this week, it's like 1 a.m. and I get this idea of like study default default mode network or what it was it. Yeah, default mode network. No idea what the heck, like why. But it's like
What is
that's the
default
thing I
mode?
need. That's the thing I need to do. And so it's like just a constant reminder of these kind of things because of a previous conversation in the week and earlier somebody's like, "Can we learn a little bit more about this?" And it's like, "Okay, capture that idea. I will process that some other time." But at least I didn't let the idea go. And now I've got something to go off of for the next time I go back into like research mode. But yeah,
That's good.
while you're camping or fishing or because for me, I get the best ideas on walks. And so I better, for goodness sakes, write them down.
I get good ideas on walks too, and then like, or sometimes I have that like dialogue going in my head, and it's like, man, I wish that like I wish that like, I know they're gonna do this eventually, where you'll be able to like transmit your thoughts like into like. Because I was like, man, I wish that like I could transmute this like what's going on in my head right now, this conversation that I'm having, like, and I could like make a video right now because this is like it's like exactly how I would want to say it in the exact, like the exact tone, the exact everything, the exact words. And then you get back home and you're like, oh, and you're trying to articulate it, and you're like, oh, fuck, like I can't, like, why can't I articulate this right now?
Because it wasn't meant to be then, it was meant to be there. But
Hmm. The
this
timing.
the and I believe technology will catch up to this stuff. I found a researcher in Sydney, Australia that has figured out tools and systems to be able to photographically picture intuition. Like he can do this. This is real. It's like but that was a deep dive research I went on this week. And I was like,
Mm,
somebody's been able to figure out a tool and a resource to be able to pick like they used to be able nobody knew what like the energy field was around a human. And then somebody figured out how to take a photograph and be able to see that stuff. It's like I'm sure technology will catch up to where we can photograph intuition. Like it might sound crazy and wild now, but it's
it's real.
like there's so much technology advancements that are happening so fast. And with AI and with the rise of like studies on neuroscience and just the background of like what's happening in the mind. Because the mind is the thing that's not studied. Like it's more untapped than the ocean. People studied more about the ocean and space than they have the mind. And so there's going to be a
Mm.
scientist, there's going to be a researcher, there's going to be technologies and tools that people come up with. In the meantime, it's how do we capture these ideas, um, so that we don't lose the energy. And so for me, it's been texting myself, writing them down, taking pictures of them, sending the text message when I need to send the text message, sending the uh, question or the email or the make the video, like make the recording at the moment that I need to make it, and
Mm.
not questioning what happens next. And
Yeah,
putting the
Yeah.
energy out there and then letting it come back.
that's
Uh,
so good.
I think I'm just gonna like start recording as soon as I have that going on in my head. I'm just gonna like turn the camera on and just like have a conversation with myself,
it's I'm gonna start
honestly.
putting out more videos of like that because that's how I process things and that's how I get the best ideas. That's literally like the videos that are on my YouTube is like in the moment, capture it, record it, use it as a training.
Mm-hmm.
For some
And
people that works, and for some people it's writing. Like
mm,
if you notice like certain people use their social media like stories and they'll write out the whole thing instead of make a video. So some people
hmm
do videos, some people it's writing, some people it's speaking. Um, but whatever their form of expression is, you just have to capture it for yourself and figure it. You start to pay attention. You start to pay like very close attention to the feeling in which you want to express the idea and get the creative thing out of you.
hmm Yeah, and it's funny because it says that in chapter 2 that there's importance in that and it should be done daily.
Mhm.
Um, and it should be like immediately apparent. And that's the portion that you're taught, like catching the that part when it's immediately apparent. All right, put it out there. However it is, whether that's writing, whether that's you, making the vlog, making the video in that moment, in that time. But it's really not letting those moments pass you by because you're in the state of I am. You're doing it, you're creating.
You know, it's like telepathy, like we hear about telepathy all the time. What's the phenomena of telepathy?
Hmm
Substance or consciousness? Like
hmm
there's reasons why Femi and I are on the same wavelength sometimes. There's reasons why Eugene and I are on the same wavelength sometimes.
Yeah.
Like we can communicate.
Yeah, especially with the intention, like, because when you're in that intention and you're vibrating so high, that's why it transmits and it's out there, and people be like, "I was just talking about you," or "I was just about to call you," or "I was sending you a message right now," because the focus, the state that you're in, it is, it's so magnetizing, and it doesn't have to be like said or it just is.
Just is and it happens, and the more you start to catch this stuff, you're like, oh my God.
Exactly.
But you're
And
right. I think it's cool. It says a single electron revolving in a specific orbit constitutes the unit of magnetism. So just
mhm,
when a piece of steel or anything else is demagnetized, the revolving electrons have not stopped. Therefore, the magnetism has not gone out of existence. It's only a rearrangement of particles so that they produce no outside or precipitable effect.
mhm,
They're arranged at random, mixed up in all directions. The substance is said to be demagnetized. But when the particles are marshaled into ranks so that the number faces one direction, the substance is magnetic.
mhm.
Bro, nothing's new under the sun. Like we have these principles and these laws and things in science, and now people are starting to figure out that they work for communication.
Yeah, exactly. And even the second to last sentence, the basic nature of the primal cause is consciousness. Therefore, ultimate substances of all things is consciousness.
That's so cool. It was fun. I have my notes and stuff in my book, and this one was November 2nd, 2024, on a flight to Mexico because I changed the concept of myself to be someone who travels regularly because I am now conscious of the fact that it can be done. I was not aware of the fact that people traveled regularly. My family didn't travel regularly. The only thing I ever traveled for was sports. And I was like, duh, because you have to play the game at the place where you're playing. Like somebody, duh. So I was well traveled because of soccer, but I was not well traveled because of my concept of myself was somebody of a traveler.
Yeah.
And now I travel the world.
So
Yeah.
good.
I had that exact same, like, I've been to Mexico and to France in the last year. Like, I had the same childhood. Like, we didn't go anywhere. It was like, what? You don't go on trips.
Won't leave the country.
Like, yeah. You can go to different provinces.
Right.
Like, what do you want to go to that city for? You don't need to go there.
It's like think about all these ideas that get inundated with. It's like what you said. It's like we don't go to those cities. What's in that city? Why do you need to go there? What's
Yeah.
that country's dangerous. This is that. It's like, bro, what if I just have this desire to go to this city? Like follow that. What's there?
Yeah, I just want to go explore it.
Like
Right?
exploration. We look at history. I really don't like I used to not like history because it was so boring. Like a freaking textbook was so boring until I started listening to like people that made history feel alive and I started learning about history in real life, like at real places. I was like, oh, this stuff is cool. All these people are like explorers, inventors, scientists, like real in their work, in their life work. And I'm like, there's so much value and so much to learn from these people. It'd be way more fun to learn them in those places where they they walked and they learned and they inhabited.
Yeah, there's that one Charlie Kirk video where he's telling the guy like, no, like I have been to Israel and I have been to the place where like this is where Jesus wept. This is
Yeah.
where he was crucified. This is where he rose from the dead. This is where he healed this person. This is where this happened. And it becomes more real.
It was like he
Not,
painted in color and not just black and white.
yeah.
You're muted, Femi.
Yeah, I realized. But no, that part right there, like it's not black and white. Yeah.
Make no mistakes. Books are black and white for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it and that's the thing too, and that's why books, especially books like The Power of Awareness, that's why it hits differently every single time because you're constantly developing and experiencing the state of I am. And the moment that you're in a certain state, now you see this book in a different light. Now you can grasp the concept of what's being given to you.
It's so funny because I have right here, it literally just says what question mark. And it was this part where I was like, difference does not constitute in variety of substance, but in variety of arrangements of the same cause substance, your consciousness. Like I can guarantee
Mm.
you, I read that and was like, what? Like, what does that even mean?
That's so good. That's so good. And it's so funny how like that will be our beginning state. And then like next time it's a breakthrough.
Yeah.
And then
People
now we can take that thing and put it into action and completely change the trajectory of what we were doing or how we understood something. So good.
dude, I'm
I
totally believe.
I just wrote this in my book
Mhm.
under where the paragraph on like magnetism and it's not generated is displayed like health, wealth, and beauty. Genius are not created, they are only manifested by the arrangement of your mind. And I was like, well, if like we can change, I put like we can change our magnetism. Like that's your state, right? And you change it and it's like, oh, you just attract these things like to you like a magnet because like that's who you are.
Mhm. Exactly. So good. Mm.
I'm excited for the next two chapters, Power of Assumption and Desire. Because once you get into like auto-suggestion and hetero-suggestion, it gets real fun. Also, in chapter 3, it says this book is probably the points that are truly understood by probably not more than 1 in 1 million people. So like if we really think about it, three of us studying this book, we're the three out of 3 million people
Wow.
studying the concepts of these books. And it's like, think about how many people
Mm-hmm.
don't know this stuff and have never been made aware of it. And you have to, like, by any stretch of the imagination, you have to be made aware of something. Then you have to practice something and get good
Mm-hmm.
at it. And then you understand it. A true understanding.
That's so good.
Truth.
Sheesh. 3 out of 3 million.
Three.
Crazy.
We're the three people out of a 3 million.
Yeah, that's good.
That is very powerful. I'm super grateful. The more that we study this book, the more that I study this book, the more I'm like, are you kidding me? Like these dates line up, the conversations line up, like
Mm-hmm.
um the chapters line up with like what's happening in the world. It is every day I'm like, there's a new level of awareness of like the layers of the systems and things that make up the world that
The
I'm like,
century of self that like that documentary is like, oh, okay, this is like, you see like these layers of society and how we've got to where we've got to, and you're like, oh, okay, that's interesting, right? Like where people like I just finished part three, and it's like this is where like in the 60s and 70s where people started like reading stuff like this
mhm.
because they were looking
Mm-hmm.
for answers, right? The self-help like became like that was the dawn, the dawn of of self-help. Like, I mean, yeah, there was stuff written like Napoleon Hill, but like nobody really actually started like studying it until the 60s and 70s when that whole concept of like it, things coming from like here and outward, like that's crazy.
If you dig really deep into it, it's like if God is God and he puts all of these ideas in people's mind and they act upon them and then they do these things. And then it's like we get the manifestation of God throughout time, history, and everybody's experience. And so you're getting it through a lens of different people. And then you have somebody who went and interviewed the top wealthiest people in the world and writes a book on awareness. Like not on money, awareness.
Mm. Yeah, I agree. That's good.
I was like, okay, so people who are aware, that's that's the thing to study. Awareness,
Mm-hmm.
like biblical principles. It's like, who is it? Is it Samuel or Simon who asked for wisdom instead of anything?
Samson.
Samson, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He asked for wisdom. He could have asked for anything. It's like, and all you get understanding.
Mm-hmm. And all you get understanding. That's so funny because I literally put that on like anytime I have like the reels that I do, like breaking down a verse or talking about it, like I don't even put what I'm talking about. You have to listen to the video to find out. And then in it, it says, and all you do get understanding. Facts. I love that. That's amazing. I'm so grateful for you guys. I gotta head out.
Same. Got we got next things to do. Okay.
100%. But I'm so super excited. Chapters 3 and 4.
Yep. Chapters 3 and 4. We'll get this one up on YouTube's. I'm gonna do a better job at like reaching out to people. Uh,
Yeah.
I had a few friends that were like, "Oh, that actually sounds really cool," and like new people, so that'll be fun.
It will be. Yeah, now that I'm back and situated from this event, definitely putting it out there, the content and things, because like people do need this. And some of them realize when they're here, like, wow, I needed this. So definitely, I'm grateful for you guys. Thank you for always showing up for yourselves, for your mind. And if you're rewatching this, thank you for showing up for you. Bring a friend, share this with someone that needs to hear things like this, because it really is up to us to help each other bring out those, the power of awareness. I love you guys. Be great.
Love you guys.
See you guys later.
Peace.